Love conquers all, especially if you were an awful parent. In Over the Top.
Or if you have a diesel truck, that'll work too.
Diesel trucking. Stinker Madness. Stinker Madness. Stinker Madness. We got the Stinker Madness. With me, Justin, as your host, as always, is two-time International Arm Wrestling Council champion, Sam.
Hi.
And the acting director of Child Protective Services, Jackie.
Hello.
Yes. Just got done watching Over the Top starring Stallone, as you're probably well aware. I hope that anybody listening had already seen it and realized that they shouldn't see it again. Because
I've seen it twice now, thank you.
Well, yeah, that was on me for forcing you to have to do that.
I'm not going to feel near as bad about Free Jack next week.
No, I think I'm in the hole.
I don't know, man.
I'm pretty deep.
I've tried to watch Free Jack a couple of times, and I've never been able to get through it.
Oh boy. Yeah, the Over the Top, the movie that set up David Mendenhall as the illustrious superstar that we all know him now to be. From such appearances as Transformers the movie, it was Spike Witwicky and Transformers the movie, the cartoon.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and that's
another disappointing film.
Yeah. No, he sucked. The little kid sucked real bad.
He won both available Golden Raspberries.
Yeah,
the worst new star and worst actor. So that's pretty good.
You're telling me that the movie that won that year
was Leonard Part 6.
Was Leonard Part 6 a phenomenally better movie than Over the Top? I think that they really, really missed the boat there because,
or it may have been I can't remember what it was the year after. It wasn't even nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, no, it sucked.
88, so.
It was bad.
Or Worst Picture. I mean,
but really, what we should start off with is Over the Top is the name of the movie, but it's also the name of the super sweet arm wrestling movie.
Right.
Yes.
Created by Sylvester Stallone's character, whatever, Hawks. Whatever the hell his first name was.
How do you know he created it? Maybe it's an actual thing.
Because they were in the truck after
I saw the movie.
And the guy's like, Sylvester Stallone's like teaching his son, he's like, this is called Over the Top. And the kid's like, yeah, the Over the Top move. And I'm like,
I got that.
Oh God, stab me.
How do you know that that's not an actual thing?
I don't, because I don't follow arm wrestling
championships. No,
I don't know that there really is.
I looked it up. There is.
There is?
Yes, it is.
Huge
in Eastern Europe.
I bet that it's probably such that once you grip, you're not allowed to re-grip.
I would think that once you're locked in.
Once you're locked in, anything would result in a disqualification.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about arm wrestling. I know that it's stupid.
In terms of the over the top move, the first time I saw this was probably in 1990, I'm thinking, maybe 91. I was in I think I was in 5th grade, and my friend David Hammond watched it at his house, and our other friend Andrew Benson the next day at school was like, you guys watched Over the Top? And we were like, yeah, it wasn't very good. And then tried to practice the over the top move in arm wrestling.
And it didn't do anything.
It didn't do anything. Yeah. I don't think it helped that neither myself nor David Hammond were any good at arm wrestling.
Probably not, but
that didn't help. Even when we were arm wrestling each other, it didn't seem to sway. Only if you both try to do it at the same time, then you just kind of have to stop arm wrestling.
Okay, no, wait. I go over the top first.
Because then you end up just holding hands and looking like, oh, that doesn't work.
Yeah, this movie
Lover's Grip.
Yes. Yeah, this movie should have been called Lover's Grip because really, it tried real hard to be an emotional tearjerker between Sylvester Stallone and his estranged son, which he abandoned. Like
they never
10 years
explains
ago.
at all why he...
They never says why he abandoned the kid 10 years ago. But because it's supposed to be such a you're supposed to feel heartwarming or whatever, I just want to read a review here from IMDb. 7 stars. Am I delirious, or is this an alright flick?
Delirious.
Yeah. Here's another one. I've watched this movie at least 25 times. 9 stars.
That person doesn't have a dad.
No.
And he's like, yeah, a loser trucker dad. Yeah, that's what I want. The dad who abandoned me. Please come back and be a trucker that arm wrestles.
This movie does what any good 80s movie should. That made the movie that made turning your hat backwards cool.
It might have been.
No.
It might have been, to be honest.
Here's the one. 10 for 10 by Nikolai Gamedjev. He may be in that Eastern arm wrestling circuit that I was talking about. Eastern European. I find every movie of Sylvester Stallone very inspiring, no matter what the critics may say. Or the crickets, because I heard crickets quite a bit in this one. Maybe because he is the brightest example of a man who reached so much in his life. I am not a truck driver. I am a judge. But I can tell right after the first few minutes of the film how much Mr. Stallone got into his character. He is even driving with the gestures of a real truck driver. I think it takes too much to be an actor of his value to go deep into his character and to drive a huge truck. And again, there comes the idea of physical strength and stamina, which I find very inspiring. Not drugs, bad language, and manners. Training the body and mind. Sylvester Stallone is one of my inspirations to deal with sports. I have done it for over a decade now. He has dealt with sports.
His gestures as a truck driver are accurate? You're a judge? What?
Wait.
It's a demonstration.
I would like to put in a piece of the movie now with this really nice critique that you just read us.
This Eastern European
Meet me halfway across the sky.
I do want to talk about. All right. Fine. You've blown it. I was going to talk about this later, but I just happen to have spoken logins.
Oh, really?
In a lifetime made of memories, I believe in destiny. Every moment returns again in time. When I've got the future on my mind, know that you'll be the only one. Meet me halfway across the sky, out where the world belongs to only you and I. Meet me halfway across the sky. Make this a new beginning of another life.
That's almost as good as Spoken Word of Sailing by Christopher Cross.
Almost. It's just about as much bullshit.
Yeah, but this song, I mean, they must have paid out the asshole for it because they used it throughout the entire movie.
You gotta think that Kenny Loggins almost single-handedly, or so Hollywood executives think, single-handedly causes blockbusters with Footloose and Danger Zone in Top Gun.
Right.
They're thinking, we'll just play the Loggins twice. This is a done deal.
I think so.
But the first time that the words are introduced in this movie to this song, it's just not playing in the background, is a montage where after Stallone picks up his kid here, Mike,
Mike, yes.
And they sleep in the truck overnight because he's too cheap-ass to get a hotel and he can't afford one.
I want to talk about that for just a second before you go any further. He's known about this pickup thing for some time. He's been planning to pick the kid up, which he shows up after graduation because he's busy washing his truck. He misses graduation.
He misses it because he's late.
He's got to armor all the tires.
You know, he wasn't late to the arm wrestling competition.
No,
other than that,
he was early, actually.
He was late to everything else he did in the entire movie.
So he's known about this picking up his child that he hasn't seen in 12 years, and he didn't set any money aside for a hotel. Even just a flea motel.
They never stay in a motel.
Gotta sleep in the truck.
Yeah, so after they get out of the truck, they get up in the morning at dawn and start doing calisthenics.
Mm-hmm. You forgot the important part where he says that if your neck gets sore, you can use my shoulder as a pillow. And then they wake up, and he's in fact using the child's shoulder as a pillow.
Oh, that was I was hooked there. I can see where this movie's going.
And then yes, rather than getting back on the road, it's time for calisthenics.
I like speaking of old trucky, as I like to call it. Did you catch the very beginning of the movie, the mud flaps on old trucky?
Yes, one said suicide and one said passing sign.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah. I don't think you get away with that anymore.
I don't think so.
It would be cool if you... Actually, that was probably the coolest part of the whole movie.
Yeah.
All downhill from there. That was like the first 3 minutes.
If that's the coolest part of the movie... Boof.
Yeah, and there's some nice shots of Mount Shasta at the beginning, so...
Mount Shasta? I thought Mount Shasta was in Washington.
It's at Northern California.
Oh.
So speaking of being in the truck,
She might have been Mount Whitney.
my favorite line in this entire movie was when the kid, who is a military student,
Yeah,
he goes to a private military school.
Southern California Military Academy.
Right. So he's
inferring.
telling Stallone, who he assumes is a fucking dumbass, which is true,
Mm-hmm.
that the average adult is 15 mentally. So a truck driver is like 11 or 13 years old mentally.
Sure.
So what does Stallone do in response to this? He pulls over and has the kid
Lets
fucking
the kid
drive
drive, yeah.
the semi-truck.
Yep, lets the kid drive, which,
Proves the kid's point.
yeah.
Because
Yep.
the kid just
You're
drives,
right.
and then he's like, hey, fuck you, you old dunker donk.
But they bond anyway. Because
Because
even
they
though
bond.
he decides his dad is not a smart man, he's the nice guy.
Right, so then right after they bond, the next scene is he throws his kid, who's like the skinny kid, right?
He's a very small child.
Into a kid's arm wrestling match. Like, he picks an arm wrestling fight with, like, a 16-year-old boy for his 13-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you're gonna do this. And the kid loses and runs off and cries like a little bitch. I'm like, dude, you're in military school. Don't they teach you not to cry when you lose?
Sam and I played his opponent, his arm wrestling opponent in basketball. He was a kid in Horseshoe Bend.
Really?
Yep. Actually, all the kids in Horseshoe Bend looked exactly like that. Hear me, Horseshoe Bend? We're still dissing you!
Then he goes back and wins after his dad gives him a pep
I
talk.
like before that he realizes his dad is a douche, and he's stuck in a truck with his dad, the douche, makes him pull over because he's sick, and then risks freeway death rather than being in the car for, like, 2 days with his dad. Like, I would rather get ran over by cars.
That was the best acting he did. He actually looked he looked distressed and panicked
Because he was in a freeway and there was cars
Well, I
coming
don't
at him?
know. I mean, you figure knows that he's not going to get run over if he's on set. So I just mean, like, the only time
He seemed pretty expendable.
the only time I believed him as a character was during that scene. Other than that, I was like, boy, this kid stinks.
I think the director was probably going, if you hit him, we'll just get another Timmy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Menahem Golan is like, he's on a very strict timetable. They didn't have time for new Timmies.
Speaking of being late,
What
in
is
this
the
movie,
kid's name?
Mike. His name is Mike.
Michael Cutler.
Cutler Hawks. So, speaking of being late for Sylvester Stallone, because he's late to the graduation, right?
Late to his dead wife's funeral.
No, before that, though, he's late getting the kid to the hospital, so the wife is
she
dead.
died.
She's fucking dead.
Yeah, they didn't get her
That's
there in
right.
time. She
I was
died.
totally thinking that there was going to be, like, terms of endearment scene. There wasn't. She's talking on the phone. Oh, that's great, little Michael. I'm so glad that you beat up a tough man in arm wrestling.
Yeah, and then she dies. So they're late getting to the hospital. The mom dies. Then the kid just goes with his grandpa. He gets in a taxi, because all taxis just take random small
Kids
children.
anywhere they want to go.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And then at the funeral, Stallone shows up in this, like, all black... Oh, no, he had a
He
black
was
denim
wearing
shirt.
Black denim
nicer.
shirt.
He was wearing nicer clothes to the hospital than he was wearing the next day to the funeral.
Right, and he
Jeans.
was late to the funeral.
Late to the
And
funeral.
then interrupted it because the like minister is like in the middle of talking, and he just like goes up and sets the flowers on the casket, and then
leaves.
turns around and leaves.
And goes away. Doesn't say hi to his son, just bails. Like, I got trucking and wrestling to do. You guys are forgetting one of the most important scenes at the beginning of the movie. The restaurant that they go to, the very first thing that they do together is father and son after a freeway death incident. Is they go to a restaurant that just seems like a normal truck stop restaurant. You got the pancake stacks and the pigs in a blanket and all that sort of fun stuff. But in the back, there's about 80 men, and they all like arm wrestling.
And the guy he arm wrestles in real life is apparently named Magic Schwartz.
Magic Schwartz.
In the scene?
Who kind of looks like a giant
I don't know
DDP.
I don't know. He doesn't have a character name, but the actor is named Magic Schwartz, and he's not in movies. I don't know if he's a real arm wrestler. He doesn't look like he's a wrestler. Like, I could find out very little about this Magic Schwartz fellow.
Yeah, but in this diner, though, there's a whole other section, like a gambling section you would see in, like, an old...
The back room.
the back
but the
room.
back room is like huge, and it's got banners and like
Yeah,
go
it's-
arm wrestling, Las
Yeah.
Vegas tournament.
That's like, there's a whole subculture of underground arm wrestling.
Trucker arm wrestling. Only truckers.
Yeah. Well, I guess he was from the Trucker League or something.
Trucker Association. Independent Trucker Association or something at the end.
Yay!
So, what kind of restaurant... I mean, like... And he obviously knows everybody there. Everybody's calling him Hawk. You know, oh, hey, Hawk, you want the usual? And the magic
Schwartz.
Uncle DDP comes up to him and is just pissed off at him for some reason. He's so angry that he's even there, has to wrestle him. And they bet $1,000. So if he knows everybody there, he probably knows that nobody really likes him. And for a good cause. Nobody should like him. Mm-hmm. And so why did he go there? Like, I don't want to arm wrestle.
It seems like everybody liked him except for that guy. And I find...
No, they were all like, get him, Uncle DDP.
Yeah, but I think half of them were and half of them weren't. Like, you're yelling at the guy that you're betting on. You're yelling against the guy that you're betting on. Or you're yelling at the guy...
Maybe I just hated Lincoln Hawk
against.
So much that I'm assuming everybody else hates him as well.
It seems like there was a level of intimidation, because no matter what happens, after the arm wrestling match, everybody was usually friends, except for the black guy who claimed that Sly cheated.
Yeah, in the actual wrestling match.
That's where we first see the over-the-top move, which is just essentially re-gripping. And Sam called it pretty early. He was like, he's going to win every time using the
Well, I'd seen the movie.
re-grip.
I just couldn't remember if he uses the re-grip in every match, and he doesn't, thank goodness.
Thank goodness. Doesn't need to. But when he needs to, he does. And it does magic. So they, his dad. He realizes his dad is now
an arm
wrestling.
we have to back up for this
protege or auteur of arm wrestling. They leave the restaurant and start having their trip or adventure. That's when they sleep in the cab, and you can tell pretty early that the kid hated his dad, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like pretty much just immediately after he realizes that he's the Michael Jordan of arm wrestling, he loves him. Like, oh, Dad, oh, you guy that I haven't seen for more than a day my whole fucking life.
I thought that he sort of, because it's right after that he lets him drive the truck.
Lets him drive the truck right after that.
And then once he drives the truck, he then is
They are super mad tight.
They're besties.
And he stops being military kid and starts being like a regular boy.
Yeah, he takes off his military clothes. He starts wearing cut-off T-shirts and ball caps and that sit way too high on his head and smells of balls and things of that nature. So the wife dies. They don't show up in time. They have the funeral, and now the kid is living with Grandpa, Robert Loggia,
who is a millionaire, who has this
who is also
awesome mansion,
a millionaire, has been taking care of the child his whole life, and has custody. Well, he doesn't have custody.
He wants custody.
He wants custody, and his lawyer says, no judge in the world is going to give you custody. Because it's his father. He's done nothing wrong other than not be around. Well, now he's around, so he's got rights to the child now that mom is dead. You do not. So what's Stallone do?
He tries to go see his son.
No, he does try to go see his son by driving through fucking Truckee through the goddamn front door.
Through the metal
over
gate,
the lawn, and then
through a fountain.
Yeah, like, this guy is not safe. You now have completely eliminated yourself from ever getting custody. You've proven that you're a loose cannon and this child is in danger anytime he's with you.
But that's not the best part about what happens, though, after that, is that we really get to see Stallone's parenting skills.
Yes. So he goes to jail, because obviously you can't drive an old Truckee through the front door of a millionaire's house. And what's he do in jail, Jackie? Go ahead and set this up.
So the lawyers come and see him.
It was the father's, or Robert Loggia's personal secretary.
And he tells him, look, buddy, we'll drop all of these charges and you can leave the state and give us your child.
Yeah, but you have to sign over the child. You sign over papers, we'll drop charges. Okay. He fucking does it.
Well, he asks the kid first, and the kid says,
you don't have any money.
You suck.
The kid gives the right answer. Yeah, my grandpa is a millionaire, and he actually gives a shit about raising me. So you should probably sign the papers.
Do what's right, I guess, sort of.
Yeah, but it's not like Stallone was going to do it, even if the kid would not come in there.
Oh, yeah, I don't have to be in jail anymore. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the next scene, Stallone's on his way to Las Vegas.
No, he's not.
Wrestling
No,
match.
he's not. The next scene is not. First, he sells Old Truckee.
He drives to Vegas.
Yeah, he drives to Vegas.
Truckee in Vegas.
I thought that's how he got to Vegas, was he sold Old Truckee.
No.
He drove Old Truckee to Vegas. You see him
and then
driving
sold
past
Old
the Stardust.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's now
So he's like, woohoo, freedom!
betrayed his son. He's betrayed his best friend, his Old Truckee Big Rig.
Which was an autocar diesel.
Autocar diesel. It's a nice truck.
Yeah.
Yep. 18-wheeler.
With a big hawk on the front.
I don't know.
Big silver hawk.
I don't know.
According to the internet, autocars, they mostly build garbage trucks.
Oh.
Like
The garbage trucks we have are
garbage
probably
men trucks
built
or
by autocar.
pieces of shit.
No, like garbage men, like the
Trash
people that
collectors.
come and collect our trash are probably driving autocars.
Nice.
So what you're telling me is that he bought the wrong truck.
No, they make
Should have gone Kenworth.
No, they make those too. They're just not as popular.
Interesting. So
It's a short haul truck.
I think he kind of had to get rid of Old Truckee because the only thing it played on the stereo was Kenny Loggins.
Do you think he took the pictures of his son out of Old Truckee before he sold it?
Didn't show it.
He didn't show. All he did
No?
was he took the hawk off because he's a little narcissistic.
Yep. Yeah, they had the hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, his
What a
silver
dude. God, he is just
gigantic hawk ornament.
a
I don't think
douche.
he took the pictures out. Personally, I think he was just like, fucking take this piece of
He
shit.
is the least... You remember Real Steel? And Hugh Jackman's character was also like the least likable father
Real
character
Steel is
ever.
basically a remake of this movie.
I liked Hugh Jackman's dad character fucking so much better than Lincoln Hawk. Lincoln Hawk was an awful person.
They were trying, though, to make it like, heart bleeding.
He's
Didn't your mom cry?
A terrible guy.
Yeah, Sam's mom cried during this
Actually,
movie.
my mom and brother cried at the end of Over the Top.
When it
So-
first came out.
No, this was like after they each seen it once too. So it was in like this was probably in '98, I think, when I walked in on them crying at the end of this movie. It had been out for quite a while.
Yep.
That's like 11 years that it had been out, basically.
So we get to the main wrestling match. Stallone's advancing, and they keep showing. Okay, this is what I noticed, and you guys can say yay or nay on this. But
Nay.
so they're panning shots of the audience that are attending this arm wrestling fiasco at the Hilton.
The World Championship arm wrestling.
Yeah, at the Hilton in Las Vegas. So it's a classy hotel.
Right.
Probably the
High-end
biggest.
hotel.
Off strip.
And as they're panning around, this is the one thing I noticed. There are no attractive women. There are a lot of transvestite-looking women in this audience. And the women they show jumping up and down, it's Camel Toe City.
It's real life
It's
trucker
like-
wives.
Yeah, what were you expecting to see
Like,
at
why
a
are
truck
you-
driving arm wrestling championship?
Like that's
Not
authentic.
Camel Toe.
I thought that was the best part of the whole movie. I was like, hey,
That's-
the one thing they didn't screw up.
The
Truck
authenticity.
stop women.
Apparently Camel Toes are sexy and truck stop women.
Well, if you've been on the road for 3,000 miles and 6 different states with a back end full of Brit, Camel Toe is probably a nice sight compared to all the lizard lots you've been hanging around with.
Oh, God.
I don't know what that means, but
Stopping over at the truck stop and getting handies from somebody named Herbert.
That's not even his real name. He has a wife and child back home.
Oh, well, Herbert has a wife and child, and so does most...
You sound like you're talking from personal experience there, Justin.
Well, I spent a little time on the road once or twice. Times are tough, and I didn't want to deal with my child, little bastard. Instead, I had a dream to drive some Brit and do some wrestling. I mean, it's really every man's dream.
And then the next thing I noticed...
Freedom.
So they're doing this match.
Some men buy motorcycles. Some of us drive truck.
Or a Datsun across state lines. Anyway...
Dodson.
I took a Datsun to Oregon once.
See, Sam, he knows. He's
been in the
on
boat.
early.
Yeah.
He had his...
Well, I had a Datsun and I had to go pick some shit up in Ontario. It's never nice. Like, and I had I didn't have a seat cover, so my back was really sweaty when I got across. And Oregon doesn't smell nice if you've ever been to Ontario. They've got They got a potato plant there that makes everything smell like poop.
You have also heard the call of the highway.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So, do you guys slap the shit out of each other to get each other like psyched up before you guys do the arm wrestling matches on the road
I had to
here?
like pick up a fucking dresser too. It was like
Oh
you
my
go to
God,
Oregon
Sam
and
had
you
to
get
go
there,
get a load.
and then like it's like, oh, it's a dresser and it's like got cinema. It's an antique dresser, and I like drive out there and it's got like a stamp on the back of it and it's particle board. Antique my ass. This was built in like '93 and it's a total piece of shit. And I had to drive to Oregon to get it, which is gas. I mean, I would have bought a new dresser if I knew if it was going to be like that.
So, isn't one of the highwaymen a trucker?
The highwayman, like
I was a highwayman. Across the roads did I drive?
maybe Merle Haggard. I don't know. Merle Haggard was in prison for a while. He could have done some trucking.
Trucking, fucking. Everybody's doing it now.
I knew that was going to rear its head. So, what do you want to say, Jackie?
So,
no, you've been dying.
No, I asked you guys.
She doesn't feel the call of the highway. It's only for men.
we gotta fill somehow because we're almost done. We're almost done picking this plot apart, and it's that. Then we've only been talking for like 20 minutes.
Yeah. So
there's not a lot that happens in this fucking movie.
It sucks.
So I'm asking this question though, like, in the movie. According to the movie, you slap the shit out of the guy who's about ready to arm wrestle,
right,
so that he's pumped, so that his face stings. Maybe he stole some brute out of the back of Sylvester Stallone's load.
That's a better move than face slapping. And brute actually hurts like fucking hell. Have you ever worn brute?
Brute?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you have to cut yourself pretty good before it hurts.
No, you don't. You just have to shave, and then you put it on, and you're like, this is just ethyl alcohol. Ow!
Yeah.
But do you slap each other up before you guys get ready to do your arm wrestling matches on your road trips to Ontario?
After putting brute on, I slap the shit out of myself because it makes the brute hurt less.
Well, I wasn't any good at arm wrestling before I tore my rotator cuff, so I just don't arm wrestle anymore.
Oh.
I knew a guy that arm wrestled.
That was the end of your life on the road?
No, I still every once in a while have to drive into Oregon, which pisses me off.
The only guy I've ever known that arm wrestled was about 50. Worked at the place that I worked, the furniture store.
Wasn't any good at it.
And he challenged a man who was half his age and twice as big to wrestling. And
wrestling.
Did it on a glass counter, first off. Like, that's a good call.
Yeah, it's a good call.
That's not going to damage or risk injury. So he snapped his arm.
Yeah.
Broke it like within 2 seconds. Like,
the old man got his arm broke?
Oh yeah. He was a real dumbass. This one. Yeah. Real dipshit.
That's one of many in the continuing exploits of this gentleman.
So then my next question is, in this movie,
I'm sure
Sylvester Stallone is in the
will
final.
rear his ugly head again.
He's in the final.
I see him like every.
He's in the final.
No, I mean on
Shut up!
Stinker Madness.
Oh, Snippy.
We're still
I'm trying to joke. I'm
talking
trying to joke.
about Bill Henry.
All right, go ahead.
Dave, we're not naming any names.
Fuck Bill Henry.
Oh, he's never going to listen to the podcast.
Is this the one that had the dog tattoo on his leg?
Yeah. Yep.
He's the guy that climbed up the chest of drawers and fell on his back, and nobody gave him
No,
shit.
he fell onto his broken arm. He broke.
Oh yeah, he was still
his arm wrestling.
And then he climbs up 3 chests
Got
of
it.
drawers.
Went to the hospital. Spent all of his money getting his arm fixed. They didn't fix it right because it was like an ER job. He didn't go back in. They just kind of bandaged him up. So he never got his fucking arm right. So he decided to climb on top.
He probably did a fine job. Then he went home, got drunk, and
it was
on
fucked
top
up.
of it.
It was fucked up. So he didn't have any fucking money. So he climbs on top of the chest of drawers. They fall over backwards on top of him, and he breaks his fall with his broken fucking arm. Breaks the shit out of it again.
Classic.
He will be the topic of more. There's so many movies that you can tie Bill Henry into.
Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, because he was just talking to another guy that worked there, Jake, and he's like, "Yeah, me and my friend Pete, we're just drinking.
We got so fucked up this weekend.
We just started dirty dancing with each other."
Oh, it was awesome.
And then Jake's just like, "No, it's because you're gay, Bill." No, you're just being gay.
That's what you do with your buddies when you're super drunk and dirty dance. Fuck.
When are you guys going to do that?
Not ever.
No.
I think the last time you guys got super drunk, Sam turned into Wolverine.
Yeah, that's a lot cooler.
That's much cooler than Dirty Dancing. Anyways, you can
finish now.
Now, crappy pants.
with the end of the plot synopsis.
Yeah.
It only happens once a month.
All month.
Oh!
So my question is, what did you guys think about the scene? So the grandpa goes to Las Vegas, where this arm wrestling thing is.
Why? Why did he go there?
Yeah, and he's already got the paper signed. He's got custody of
He
the
didn't
kid.
just go there. He also had the top of the hotel.
Well,
that
he's
was
super
his top of the
rich.
hotel. I'm in Vegas this week.
Well, you know why he...
up to my top of the hotel.
You know why he went there? Because his grandson ran off to there, and as a responsible parental figure, he went to retrieve him before any harm would come to him.
But he didn't actually do that. He just hung out in his...
he sent the dudes after him.
Sweet, drinking scotch.
Well, yeah, but he sent
scotch.
sent his dudes after him.
So he's got everything he wants, though. Why does he bring Stallone back up to his room?
He has no motivation to bring Stallone up.
He's sweetening the deal.
No, he's not. He can just ignore.
Gives him
He's
a
already got
brand new-
custody.
Yeah, he's like, I've already got custody. I don't have to do anything with you, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give you a new big rig
Here's
and
a new big rig.
$500,000.
Was it 500?
Yep, 500,000. He would have done better if he would have not
Taken the money.
Taken the money, yeah.
And the son wouldn't have cared because he still doesn't fucking have custody.
Yeah.
No, that was
But
really
he steals
stupid.
him at the end.
He also kidnaps him.
I feel like there's a moment where Robert Loggia starts crying at the end, and when Stallone wins, that he's gonna lighten up on him or something. I don't. There's a shot there for a reason.
There was
So you figure that
he can win an arm
maybe he
wrestling.
gets to go to military school still, but he also gets to do trucking during the summer.
You know what we haven't talked about yet, which there's not a whole lot of material here because I'm going to say what happened, and that's pretty much all you need to know.
I just did, but you can regurgitate it, I guess.
Oh, wait, maybe he's going to
No.
talk about the main fight, the
Fubar.
championship.
I'm talking about
Oh,
Fubar.
the guy that drinks the fucking
Drinks
motor,
the motor oil.
and then has to take Alka-Seltzer to feel better. Which this
This is
movie
how I get ramped up for arm wrestling.
is
3 quarts,
Valvoline.
a 10W40.
yeah.
Why and how? And you're dead now?
Yeah.
You can't drink that?
You can if you take Alka-Seltzer. That's what I learned. You can drink Valvoline oil if you take Alka-Seltzer afterwards, after you're finished arm wrestling,
You
and
can't.
you lose.
You can't. Even best case scenario. Have you guys ever gone to Mongolian barbecue, which I call choppy, and got too much oil?
Yeah,
you
I
just
don't-
put too much sesame seed oil. I love
I
the
go light
taste,
on
so
the-
I'm gonna just dump all the sesame seed oil.
It's too much.
And then you eat it, and you know what happens to you?
You burp oil for 2 days.
It is the fastest poop you've ever taken in your life. It's not painful, but there's so much, and it is so fast, it breaks the toilet because your guts are lubed. I mean, there is no friction there at all. At all.
Sounds like somebody has personal experience with
the
this.
problem... Oh, yeah, I just said that I have personal
I've
experience
overdone-
with this.
I've overdone the
I've done
oil.
it 3 times because I love the fire oil so much. No, it's too adult for our show to say what I was about to say.
I can't imagine that it would be too.
It has to do with toilet paper. It has to do with toilet paper and oil. You in for the rest.
Ah.
I can't just do it.
It makes a big oily mess.
Oh.
Too much toilet paper.
Oh.
There's not enough toilet paper.
Well, what if you're a cave explorer?
Showering doesn't help. You need Dawn.
Something to break down the oil.
And then you just take you take the kitty litter box and you just kind of dab your butts in it.
Oh my god.
It absorbs it.
I was gonna go someplace else where, if you were a cave explorer, you'd eat too much oil on your choppy first, and then go into the cave and use the toilet paper to make torches because of all the oil that comes out, which is horrible. That after that came out of my mouth, I realized that was a terrible joke.
Dun, 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 dun.
I was just thinking that's the beginning of Raiders or Last Crusade.
Indiana Jones in the quest for the Mongolian barbecue.
The cure to the fire oil. Oh, I got another fun bit right after that I just looked at. So he beats Fubar, goes over the top with Fubar, and then he has to fight Bull. Bull, who is basically... What's that? Kevin Nash? Not Kevin Nash. The other, the giant. Not Andre the Giant, but...
Paul White?
Big Sexy? Was that Big Sexy?
Oh, you're thinking of Kevin Nash as... there's...
The really, really big guy.
Paul White.
That was his name?
That's his name. He went by the Giant for a while.
That's as clever as he got?
Yeah.
The Giant?
And then he was, I think, was he Big Sexy?
I thought he was Big Sexy.
Anyways,
Anyways,
Kevin Nash was something sexy.
That's who the
too.
bull looked like. He looked like that guy. Kind of.
It's a bald guy with like
fatter.
mutton chops for a mustache.
And the nice thing about it was that during the World Championship of Wrestling, I liked the interviews, the reality show interviews before the wrestling match. And
that was interesting.
Bull had this to say. He's got no shit in business here.
No shit in business
about Frank Stallone or Sylvester Stallone. Do you think it was originally in the script as no fucking business, and they were like, well,
no, I don't think so.
We got to dumb this down to PG.
They, I find it interesting that every once in a while you end up with some weird lines like that in movies because
no shitting business makes no sense.
Oh, I know a guy.
Like he came here to poop.
To be honest, and I knew a guy that was from Riverside that said that all the time.
No shit in business.
No shit in business.
Do you think he saw Over the Top and thought it was awesome?
No. I don't think he ever saw. He didn't like movies. He only watched baseball.
Wait, so you're saying that no shitting business is an actual saying?
Yeah,
like people.
And he's
say
from
that.
Riverside, so maybe it's a SoCal thing.
We would like to know your thoughts. Go ahead and write it to us at noshittinbusiness@stinkermadness.com and tell us whether you've ever said that before.
Yeah, but Stallone's interview was awesome because they're like, "Why do you want to win?" He's like, "I need this truck."
Yeah,
and that was it.
His second one was better. He's like, I turned my head around and then I turned into the truck.
Yeah.
What?
He transformers into Optimus Prime when he turns his hat back around.
I turn into a different person. And, it's like a machine. It's like, I'm the truck.
Yeah.
You're the truck? You tow shit? The other guy's hand, I guess.
Take me halfway.
It didn't make any fucking sense. So, the other takeaway I got from the movie is that even Hollywood can't make arm wrestling interesting to watch.
Is there any other arm wrestling movies? Is this the only? This has to be the only.
I'm assuming it's the only one.
There's probably a couple of like B movies or something.
It's fucking boring to watch.
Oh, it was not very
even
good.
with Hollywood jazzing it up. Like arm wrestling is not fun to watch. Like go.
And the last arm wrestling sequence was like we should have gone back in time because it was like 3 minutes
really
long.
It was
no one could ever arm wrestle for as long as
somebody's
they were.
Yeah, but you know what?
shattered
They slipped hands.
They did.
Well, I mean,
so they were locked in, and the older guy was going to win, and Sylvester Stallone was like, "Sweaty palm!"
Yeah, they
got
had
out of it.
They had to have the glove that ties them together. I would like to also know if that's an actual thing.
Probably
because they were so sweaty. It was like, is it really that hot under those lights?
See, it is such a thing, and you're the manufacturer of the linked together arm wrestling glove. How many of those do you sell a year?
8.
8?
I don't know. If you think there's one club per
well, you
place
figure
in the
they
United
also
States.
It's a guy in his garage who also makes belts with people's first names on the back of them. It's that same trucker market.
Yeah, yep, the trucker market.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, you can always get the trucker market. They'll buy anything.
Yeah, like
you ever been to one of those truck stops and looked at the bullshit that they sell in there?
Oh yeah, it's terrible. I like to go into
some bullshit.
The lenticular prints of like big cats. Like, oh, I need a 3D snow leopard somewhere, anywhere in a frame. What the fuck are you gonna do with that?
It's in his sleeping cab so that the ladies will be like, "Hey, that's a nice 3D panther."
While having sex with a truck stop hooker, you can be like, I know that I'm not much to look at, but this 3D leopard is...
Fucking look at that shit. I like the weather telling machines, where you like... It's a full weather kit with a barometer and one of those like little cone-shaped things that spins around, and you attach it to the top of your truck, and you can get live weather data while you're trucking. And figure out your own data. Your own weather. Do your own weather forecast to yourself.
Oh my god.
Which doesn't make any sense, because if you're doing 65 down the freeway, you're probably not going to be getting accurate readings, and you're also a trucker, not a meteorologist.
Yeah.
Then you can probably just turn on the radio.
Hey, but they have nice things for the special lady
in
they
always
life,
talk
too,
to each other.
At truck stops. They always have those little crystal, looks like broken glass that has been glued together figurines. of like bears and
There's just shit.
elephants.
There is.
and
It is just the
unicorns.
most amazing shit.
They also have a lot of wolf stuff. I've
You can
noticed.
you
A
can
lot of wolf
spend an
stuff.
hour in a truck stop,
And then there's a lot of cassette tapes.
and then you can spend
Oh,
an
yeah.
hour behind the truck stop.
Ooh, make a little cash.
Make a little cash giving handies. Toot toot.
So it seems as if we've not only gotten through the plot of the movie, but at the
He
same
wins.
time completely abandoned it. Because there's really not anything.
it was
nothing
so
goes
boring.
on. Nothing happens in this movie. There's a couple of faux pas I noticed.
Go ahead.
Perhaps you'd call them faux pas. One mistake was by my main man, Menahem Golan.
Your main man.
My main man. I'm a big Menahem Golan guy, the director. The waitress, when they first go to the first arm wrestling match truck stop, in real life, her name is Flo. They renamed her Marta. They should have kept her name Flo because that's what your name is if you're a truck stop waitress.
Flo, yeah, that is the name.
Also, her last name
Or Phyllis.
her last name is Lawrence, which would imply that her name in real life is Florence Lawrence.
That's a shitty name.
That is a shitty name.
Cricket.
You wouldn't pick that if you were an actress, I don't think.
No.
The other thing is that they billed Asia as doing a lot of the music. Mm-hmm. It was actually just the frontman, John Wetton, because I was reading that while we were watching it because it was so goddamn boring. Mm-hmm. At one point, at various points, other members of the band Asia were like, "Oh, it was just him. We had nothing to do with that."
That is him.
And this is from a band that didn't do very good music.
No.
And they were like, "Nope, it was all John. We didn't have anything to do with it."
Can you name an Asia tune?
No.
Go All the Way.
Go All the Way.
I think that's what it's called.
Go All the Way?
Yeah.
Like, how does it go?
I don't know.
Meet me halfway.
Who did that song? Love lift us up where we belong. Da-da-da. And where eagles fly
on a mountain high. I always thought that was
that Michael
First
McDonald?
Officer.
No, I don't think it's Michael McDonald. Usually look up that.
It's part of the yacht rock crap. Actually, I've already looked something up. I've got more spoken lyrics. This is the actual over-the-top theme song written by Sammy Hagar. Watch with open eyes till it's time to take it all away. Every day, the game is ours to play. Oh, tell me why there are no alibis. Winner takes it all. Loser takes a fall.
Oh.
Fight to the beginning of the end. Winner takes it all till he breaks the fall. In time, he'll make it over the top, hey.
What?
Huh. The wiki on
Thank
it
you for
said something
doing
about
drugs and writing a song.
Yeah.
there being a complication with that Sammy Hagar song because Eddie Van Halen played the bass and did like a wild bass solo. And they were like, well, we're not going to put that part in the movie because no one likes bass solos. And so Eddie Van Halen, who is at this point in time, in 87, is a coked-up, violent liability of a human being who probably pitches the biggest fit, but can legally do nothing about it.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Oh, my God. Oh, Van Halen. Ugh. God, those first 4 albums are so good. Damn. Damn.
Yeah, if they ever do Behind the Music with Van Halen again, and they're going to be like, so when do you think your career really took a shit? And they'll just go, over the top.
Oh, no, it was before that because Hagar's involved at that point. There is no more Van Halen, it's Van Hagar.
Yeah.
No, they were like, over the top.
Well,
They weren't even
That's
in, it
it?
was just Hagar himself.
it wasn't fucking 5150.
Was that the first one or
love,
early
love,
12?
love, 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 loves, loves, lovin', lovin'.
Dude, Asia's got like a bunch of albums. They're still doing it.
Oh my god.
Ugh.
Cricket.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't have anything else to say about this movie. It just was so
I don't know
awful,
any of these
and they were
songs.
trying to like really put that father-son bonding shit in there. But Stallone was such a bad parent. He's going to sell his kid for a get-out-of-free-jail card. He hasn't been around in 10 years, and he brings the kid to the hospital late, so his mom's already dead. I mean, it's just the guy is a piece of shit.
Heart of the Moment is their biggest hit.
Heart of the Moment.
I don't know.
Fuck. Who are these guys? I've heard of Asia. You know who? I've heard of Europe, too. There's a band called Africa. No, there's a song called Africa.
Europe
That's Toto.
is Iran.
Iran?
I ran.
No, that's Flock of Seagulls, dude.
No, it's not. That's Europe.
Oh my god, you were the stupidest. What the fuck are you talking about? Europe is the final countdown.
Oh, the final countdown.
Jesus Christ. Flock of fucking Seagulls. Jesus. Shit.
All right.
You're on
We know
On
that.
the internet.
sounding like
Well, I
dumbasses.
don't think that
I mean,
it's-
we all sound like dumbasses, but
I still don't think it's. I didn't think Iran was Flock of Seagulls.
it's Flock of Seagulls.
Really?
So
I will bet you a big rig and $500,000. Oh, and your child.
So let me ask you this.
Joe Cocker
As a
did
kid-
lift us up where we belong.
Ah, Cocker, right. Yeah.
So, as a kid, your dad shows up. He's a trucker, an arm wrestler, and that's it. Mm-hmm. Do you choose him over the millionaire,
No.
Justin?
Trucks are pretty fucking sweet.
Yep, it's Flock of Seagulls, all right.
Come on.
I don't think this is really that hard of a question. I think you need to spice up the deal a little bit. What if the trucker dad is
Good at arm wrestling?
Burt Reynolds? What if he's actually Burt Reynolds?
Well, he would have money then. That doesn't count.
Say Burt Reynolds made a bad gambling move.
Burt Reynolds did one of the things that he's done at various points in his actual life.
And drank all of his money?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Burt Reynolds, at the height of his drinking, or just Burt Reynolds. Burt Reynolds shows up in a truck and he is your dad.
Smokey and the Bandit.
As opposed to shitty Gene Hackman.
I'm going with the
I'm going with fucking Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, I'm going with
I'm getting in the truck
What
with Burt
if
Reynolds.
it's Burt Reynolds versus actual Gene Hackman? Then I'm going to take Gene Hackman.
I'm going with Gene
I
Hackman.
think that they should get into a triathlon of battle, where first they have bow and arrows, they shoot at each other, then they step it up to dueling pistols, and then they fight each other while there's bears and crocodiles also fighting them. And see who the winner is.
What if the crocodile
Let
wins?
God decide.
If this bear, crocodile, Hackman, Reynolds free-for-all happens and the only survivor is the crocodile, do you have to get raised by the crocodile?
That's a good point.
If all that's left is the crocodile, you're going to get eaten by the crocodile. Yeah. Who's going to defend you from the crocodile?
Yeah, that's no good.
Final event, though. Final event. Start at the top of a mountain, skis on, have to beat an avalanche. The two of them. First down the mountain, beating the avalanche, the bear avalanche.
The bear.
You know who would actually win that
Bruce Avalanche
is John Cusack. Because
John Cusack
I've seen Better Off Dead, and he outruns. I think there's an avalanche in that. The bicycle kid causes it.
Yeah. So, anyways, but you guys, I think we all know.
We did make it longer than the 0.5 episode by about 2 minutes so far from the looks of it.
Oh my god.
Would you guys recommend it from the top?
I would, because I've had to watch it twice now, and I think if I've had to watch it twice, somebody else should have to watch it at least once.
That's just plain mean, man.
It is.
It is selfish.
It's not very good.
I'm going to recommend it.
Oh, yes?
I'm not going to recommend
Under what
it.
grounds?
Well, here's the thing. It's real bad.
It's real bad.
And I think that if you're listening to a podcast about stinkers, even if you're not going to enjoy it, if there's nothing to be enjoyed, but I think that it should be required work to have seen all of the worst movies ever made.
And this is one of them.
I've seen After Earth. I've seen Dreamcatcher. I've seen EGAT. I've seen, what's that, the Monster Go-Go?
Monster Go
I've
Plan 9.
seen Manos. I've seen Planet 9. And now I've seen Over the Top. And I think it's required. I think it's rite of passage.
No, don't watch this movie. It was just craptastic. Unless you like Sylvester Stallone and you're alone and well, you don't have to be a lady.
I don't think anybody's jerking off to this movie.
Maybe a young Sylvester Stallone. So I would just say no, don't. There's no Sylvester Stallone bun scenes or nakedness. Just don't.
Which is what anybody wants to see.
Yeah, right.
Hairy buns.
He is Italian. Italian stallion.
However,
Hairy and sweaty.
I would run my hands through his hairy buns.
Whoa.
it seems like...
And then my hands would get stuck and I'd be like, oh my god, tangles!
in Demolition Man, it seems like they may have shaved his butt.
Speaking of Demolition Man, we once went to the what's that movie or that restaurant for the Hollywood
Planet Hollywood.
Planet Hollywood, and they had the actual Sylvester Stallone in the liquid goo, cryogenic freezing thing, and it was anatomically correct.
Oh boy.
They went all the way with fake Sylvester Stallone. I don't know if it was anatomically accurate.
So he might not have a 38-inch penis.
No,
he does in the one, because he was one part.
It was more like about 2.5.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's accurate or not, but if it is, boy, sorry, bud. And on that bombshell, get to the chopper.